1981, a nightclub in North Dublin is hosting a disco for St. Valentine's Day. Sometime after midnight, a fire breaks out in a room above. Unbeknownst to the 841 patrons below, the fire rages into a blistering inferno. Soon enough, the fire falls down onto the dance floor, turning the club into a hell that the victims cannot escape from. For reasons that have remained shrouded in controversy, they were locked in. From the cause to the aftermath, the Stardust fire is a story that's hard to believe, and families of the victims are still fighting for answers to this day. In 1948, a food factory is constructed in Artane, a northside suburb of Dublin, Ireland. The owners of this factory, the Butterley family, converted the building into an amenity centre in 1978. This consisted of a bar, a function room and a nightclub called the Stardust. On the night of Friday the 13th February 1981, the Stardust is hosting a Valentine's Eve disco. 841 young people attend the event as the night of February 13th gives way to the early hours of the 14th. As the disco continues on the ground floor, upstairs a fire breaks out. Exactly how is unknown. The space upstairs is home to the lamp room and the storage room, as well as a number of safety violations. For example, these two rooms were not separated by a block wall, as is required under fire safety regulations. The storeroom was being used to store a large volume of highly flammable materials. Drums of cooking oil were present, alongside large quantities of cleaning agents, aerosols, polishes and bleaches. With an abundance of fuel, it's no surprise the fire rapidly spread throughout this room. At around 1:30 in the morning, the fire was visible from the roof of the building. Some in the area who saw this reported it to the fire brigade, though they were surprised there didn't seem to be an evacuated crowd standing outside the burning building. That was because no one in the building yet realised that a fire was raging just above their heads. Both patrons and staff were completely oblivious to what onlookers outside were witnessing, but not for long. An alcove to the west of the dance floor, which housed seating, was curtained off for the night. It was here where the fire first made its appearance on the ground floor. As materials burned and melted upstairs, a fireball had slipped through the ceiling and caught on a chair in the alcove. Some had noticed the light emanating from the alcove, which, when inspected, revealed a small fire burning on a single chair. A cause for concern, but the flame appeared so small that staff would surely be able to manage it. The DJ made an announcement and asked all patrons to calmly make their way to the exits. Suddenly, a fire flashover engulfed the club. Fire spread wildly across every surface, and the club's lights shut off, plunging the room into darkness as thick black smoke filled the air. The fire from the floor above was burning through the ceiling. While the materials in the storeroom burned, fireballs, molten debris and toxic fumes fell down onto those in the club. Desperate to escape the ferocious heat and suffocation, and blinded by the smoke, the crowd enters into a panic, fleeing in all directions. Some are caught in the panic and trampled. As bad as the situation already is, what happens next is shocking. As victims rush to the fire exits, an unfortunate few find that most of them are obstructed. Fire exits were either blocked with tables and chairs or locked with chains and padlocks. This was supposedly done to stop people sneaking into the club free of charge. In the bathrooms, patrons tried to escape through the windows. These, however, are barred from the outside by metal grills. Responding firefighters and onlookers desperately try to pull or break them off as they watch people on the inside pile up against the glass. Behind them, people are screaming and burning. 46 people were killed in the Stardust, main causes of death being suffocation and burning. 214 were injured, some seriously. A further 2 more later died in hospital of their injuries, bringing the death toll to 48. But sadly, the story isn't over yet. An investigation at the time ruled the fire had been caused by arson. This put some level of blame on the victims, as it was assumed an unknown patron had set the chairs in the west alcove alight. The owners of the club, the Butterleys, were therefore cleared of responsibility. Not only that, but they were awarded £600,000 compensation for the alleged arson. This was a staggering amount compared to the compensation paid to the victims and their families. This caused outrage, and it soon became apparent the investigation was very poorly executed. The evidence given in the inquiry was very misleading. Facts such as the storeroom containing large drums of cooking oil were never mentioned, and the tribunal was informed the storeroom resided on the ground floor instead of above the nightclub. These are just some examples of the blatant mishandling of the inquiry. Several years later, Irish folk singer Christy Moore wrote a song about the Stardust fire, entitled "They Never Came Home." The Butterleys took exception to the lyrics of the song, and in 1985 it was banned as libelous. The ban is still in effect to this day. It took years of victims' families campaigning for justice for the Irish government to finally acknowledge in 2009 that there was insufficient evidence to support the theory of arson. The public record was corrected and arson was removed as the cause of the fire. Still, many families call for a revisiting of the inquiry, given the original has been proven to be flawed. It's still unknown what exactly caused the fire, and despite the many safety regulations breaches, no one has ever been held accountable. Christy Moore got into more legal trouble writing a song about the incident than anyone ever did over the locked fire exits. It is now 40 years since the Stardust fire, and despite a 2019 announcement of a new inquest, we still have no answers. Perhaps the sad truth is, no answer can give meaning to the senseless loss of the lives last spent in the furnace of the Stardust. The one thing we can hope for is closure and peace of mind for the victims' families and the survivors. For those that have relived that burning nightmare every day for the past 40 years, it's well past time the fire was put out.
Let us remember the suffering and pain, the survivors and the victims of the fire in Artane. The mothers and fathers forever to mourn, the 48 children who never came home.